Watch Alina Habba on Fox News defend Cash Patel, the FBI head director confirmation hearing. She basically says what everybody knows. This was a smear campaign.
Yep.
They basically, all the Democrats just basically try to say whatever they can say to think of something negative to try to make a controversial headline for for their party's agenda instead of really asking any questions that have anything to do with the characteristics of what it takes to be the head of the FBI. It's actually disgusting. But I love Alina Hobbit and I love how she handles these Democrats in this video. Make sure you check out Bro's page in the description. My name is Marcus Russell.
Let's get right to it.
That's,
Alex W. Let's
that's
get right to
Alex.
it.
Yo, let's do it.
President, good morning to you from the White House, and thank you for your time. I know you were in the hearing of Cash Patel. It appears right now that his nomination might be the easiest. Here's an exchange with Tulsi Gabbard and during her hearing on the same day.
So was Edward Snowden a traitor?
Senator, my heart is with my commitment to our Constitution and our nation's security.
Ours too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have shown throughout my almost 22 years of service in the military, as well as my time in Congress, how seriously I take the privilege of having access to classified information and our nation's secrets. And that's why I'm committed, if confirmed as Director of National Intelligence, to join you in making sure that there is no future Snowden-type leak.
Let's go in. We'll have at it right now, Lena. If I'm right about this, and Patel's the easiest, Gabbard seems to have maybe 4 or 5 Republicans around the fence. And RFK was really having a tough time with Senator Cassidy, the Republican from Louisiana. How do you see it? Do all 3 get through or not?
I think all 3 should get through. I think that the problem that I've seen consistently and sitting in that hearing was that a lot of the rhetoric is about left-wing media spin. And unfortunately, those members in the Senate that were doing so were helping promulgate this divisiveness that America voted out on November 5th in a very clear mandate when President Trump won in an enormous fashion. And these are the people that he selected for a reason. For Tulsi, for instance, the narrative that they have with her is to pinpoint that she is somehow a puppet for Assad and others. And she said very clearly that was false. That is not true. I did not do that. I didn't meet with these individuals and I was not in collusion with them. But again, this is what we've seen time and time again. RFK, he was being asked tough questions about pharmaceuticals by people that were paid by pharmaceutical companies, some of them over $1.5 million and still on payroll. And they tried to say, well, you're against vaccines. His children are vaccinated. Again, false narratives. This is really, unfortunately, become more of a Broadway show than real news. And in Cash Patel's hearing, very little questions about actual FBI dealings or what he would do. He was the head of the DOD. He handled every question with grace, but the questions were more focused on social media and the J6 choir. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever heard. There was no substance coming from the Democrat members that were asking questions.
Well,
and I want the American people to be careful of that.
As a viewer, they were fascinating to watch. All of them have been, and we'll see how the votes go out of committee then before the full Senate.
Yeah, Cash Patel's not afraid to handle any of these weird questions they was asking him. It was like she said, it was a soap opera.
Yeah.
A performance.
Comedy show.
A comedy show, a soap opera performance. And then it's like they actually grill all of his nominations in the office. But Cash Patel is definitely the one that's the most qualified. I don't know why they grilled him like that. Like I said, he was
very divisive. I
right.
think
He was the Assistant Secretary of Defense during this last term. So it's like, yo, why wouldn't you want to pick him? And then, like he kept saying, you try to take one snippet of something that I said and try to use it, one bar of a 5-hour interview, and try to bend it into where it fits to whatever you're trying to make it seem like I said.
I believe, like she says, all 3 of them need to get through, and we'll see change if all 3 of them get in.
I mean, it looks like Pete's about to get through.
He picked these people for a reason. You know, they're a part of his picks.
Yeah, and he's bringing change
Exactly.
into this government, which I'm not afraid of. I can tell what they're afraid of, though. You know?
Exactly. Scared to be exposed. Let's keep going, guys.
Let's keep going.
In the meantime, President Trump went into the briefing room yesterday to talk about the disaster there at Reagan National. J.B. Pritzker, Illinois governor, a Democrat, had a stinging statement. All right, I'm going to read it for you and get your response. Donald Trump is unfit to lead during moments of crisis like this. Before victims have been identified, Trump's blaming people with disabilities. He's blaming the U.S. service members in a Black Hawk helicopter. He's blaming hiring programs he can't even name or offer examples of. The buck stops with him. Yet he's failing to demonstrate his role as protector of the American people and head of our government. How would you respond in kind on that, Alina?
Well, we're doing strong and big things and very quickly. So they're trying to get their sea legs on their new narrative against the Trump administration. That's first. We're seeing that. Let me discuss what President Trump said. He said two things that are not to be conflated, which I continuously hear being conflated. One is DEI is a major problem in this country. We had unqualified people hired through these programs, not on merit, but based on your race or checking a box. That is unacceptable. That's one thing he said. Now, what he said about this case was he was going to find out what happened with these planes. This tragedy is absolutely unacceptable. He has no tolerance for irresponsibility. Intelligent people need to be put in these places. We cannot have sloppy, lazy and inappropriate hires because American people are going to suffer and die. And that is a result not of frankly, the last administration's irresponsibility. So the two are getting conflated, and that's part of their narrative. Like I said, I've spoken out against left-wing media's spin ad nauseum, but that's what they like to do. Take one thing that he says over here, what Doge is doing, cleaning up and being responsible with taxpayer dollars, and then take a crisis and make it look like he has no compassion. This is a man whose first bill sitting as the 47th president was the Laken-Riley bill. The Laken-Riley Act was so important to protect our people. And all he's saying is we need the best of the best, and America has the best of the best.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on in the government right now. No, and it's a lot of Democrats that have a lot to hide. That's why they had the preemptive pardons.
Exactly.
I can tell that the only thing that they're worried about is, themselves.
Exactly. Now, it's weird because the way that these Democrats, these senators work, they don't mind throwing another Democrat under the bus to boost themselves up. That's what I'm starting to realize is the pattern in this. They'll kick their kids under the bus if they have to. But Joe Biden, for some reason, he pardoned his whole family.
Right. I don't feel like they did Tulsi Gabbard as bad as they tried to do Cash Patel.
Yeah.
But it's because she doesn't have no control over ruining their career as to where if you get investigated, your career is over. So that's why they're way tougher on Cash Patel than they have on the other two nominations.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to it.
Okay, we're waiting for answers. Maybe the NTSB gives us a few before the 30-day period is up. And sometimes these investigations take a year or longer. Last question here. Education is on the move at the White House. When is the hearing for Linda McMahon?
That's going to be scheduled. Obviously, these are moving quickly, and President Trump's mandate has been, and very clear to Senate, is that we need these confirmation hearings done. We can't have people dragging our feet because we need to get to work. We effectively have the first 2 years to get as much done as humanly possible and 4 years to wrap it up. But he has done so much damage. Education's a great point. I'm glad you brought it up. If you look at what students with their math is up a little bit, but reading is unacceptable levels here. So we're trying to get Linda's hearing moved quickly. Hopefully it'll be very shortly and get her through.
I'm out of time, but I appreciate yours today. A lot to talk about. We got to a few things, and hopefully next time we'll get to more. Alina, Habba, thank you from the North Lawn.
Congressmen, senators, you guys realize that this is not actually a soap opera, right?
Exactly.
This is not just like y'all not trying to get views like me. This is actually the world that y'all running.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Americans are starting to pay attention to this too.
We're watching it.
So they're going to be able to weed it out and be able to tell that they've been lied to, because they can't just sit up there and lie to those people because all of them are buddies. But now you're lying to the Americans that are out here seeing these videos.
And if you can't tell, YouTube is the best investigators that the internet has ever had.
Yeah.
We're going to look at exactly everything you've done, everything you had to say about it, and we're going to investigate it.
Don't break it down.
It kind of seems to me like you guys have something to hide, and that you're asking Cash Patel, like, are you going to lock us up?
Are you going to come after us? I don't know. Another great announcement from Alina Habba. Another great announcement.
Alina Habba, she's to be taken serious. She said running this country needs to be taken serious. That's a direct quote for her. I'm rooting for the Secretary of Defense, Pete. Cash Patel, I'm pretty sure he's going to get confirmed. Let me know what you think in the comments, YouTube.
Please.
Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. Check out Cuz page in the description. See you next time.